Hi everybody, welcome to tonight's Get Plexy. Tonight we are talking to Howard Trott, and he is going to be telling us how to approach prospects. So Howard, I have some questions for you. Number one, how do you approach a new prospect?
Okay, well, you've got to remember when you're approaching anybody that there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. So the wrong way would be to just rush in and blurt out your opportunity or blurt out about your products. And what happens is most people come with inbuilt barriers, and when they hear anything about an opportunity or products, or if they think you're trying to sell them something, they have what's commonly known in the business as a salesman alarm, and it sounds, and what happens then is what they do is they close down and they're not open to listening to you. So that would be the wrong way to go about it. But if you approach a person in the correct manner, you can get past those barriers, and you do that by, when you walk up to them, you smile. If you frown, that's usually something associated with something that's not very nice or pleasant and something that they don't want to hear about. So obviously the walls go up, but if you smile, it kind of brings those walls down and they at least start to listen to you. But I'm a big fan of Tom L. Schreider. I've listened to so many of his videos, and he describes it the best way. And what he says is that you should use, to get around those barriers, you should use 4 to 5 word phrases. Phrases such as, would it be okay if? Or I am just curious, or I just found out. And what that does is it talks to their subconscious mind and helps you to build instant rapport. People make decisions about everything within the first couple of minutes, depending on the programming that they've had throughout their life up to that point. And that's what makes it hard for us to get through them. But if you use 4 to 5 word phrases, like the examples I just gave you, you can generally tend to get past those barriers. It also helps to build a little bit of rapport with them.
Very good. Excellent advice there. I know I've used the I'm curious and asking for permission to share with people before, and it's worked really well. So excellent information. Number 2, how do you know when is the best time to talk about Plexus?
Okay, the best time to talk about Plexus is when you've got their trust and belief. And you do that by using those 4 or 5 word phrases, okay? Until you get their trust and belief, those barriers are still going to be up, and you're not going to be able to get past them. They're just going to close down, and they're going to be standing there thinking, well, when's this bloke going to finish? I don't want to listen to this. I'm not interested. I wish he'd just go away.
Yep.
So the best time to talk about Plexus is when you know that you have their trust and their belief. But one thing I forgot to mention in answer to the last question is you can get their belief and get instant rapport if you use certain things. And one of the methods that Thomas Schreider describes is giving them a fact that they already know about and already agree with. For example, the sky is blue or the sun is yellow. What that does is it makes them think that you're a genius and that you think on their level and you see the world from their point of view. And if you see the world from their point of view, then you're going to make the right decisions, the same ones as what they do. And that's going to give them that instant belief and rapport. So when you've done that, you'll know that you have that trust and that rapport with them. And then and only then can you bring up your products or your opportunity?
Awesome. That's good. Okay, now with your new prospect, what determines whether to tell them about the products or the business opportunity?
Once again, you listen to any one of a dozen, top leaders and top earners with MLM, and they'll say that you've got to use both your ears and not your mouth.
Two ears for listening, one mouth to talk with.
That's it. You've got to listen to them. And I mean, if you've asked them how they're feeling, and they've answered you, well, I'm not feeling very well. I don't sleep very well. Then you're not going to tell them about the business, the business opportunity, are you? Because that just puts that wall back up again, and you're going to lose them. So if you ask them a leading question about, their general health or whether they've got enough energy to get through their day, then you're going to talk about the products, aren't you? If you ask them, if you say to them, would it be okay if, and that's one of the 5-word phrases, would it be okay if you could fire your boss and retire and be with your family more often? If you ask them that and they say, well, I'd love to, spend more time with my family and, to be able to do the things that we want to do, you're not going to go and tell them about the products. You're going to tell them about the opportunities. So the best time to actually, what determines what your presentation is going to be about is how you lead into it, what questions you ask them to get that instant rapport and that belief, and how they answer it.
Awesome. Fantastic. That's some really, really excellent advice there. And I agree with Howard. The best way to know a prospect is to listen lots and ask lots of questions, because those questions are going to give you the answers that determine what Howard just said, whether they're going to go for the business opportunity or the products. So, Howard, do you have anything else that we can add towards the end there before we close off?
I was just wondering if anybody would like some examples of some of the phrases. I've got a couple of examples if anybody wants to hear them.
Yeah, go for it. Go for gold.
Okay. When you've actually started a conversation, these are more icebreakers than anything else, but they can be used in any format. But one of the phrases is, I am just curious. And you can say things like, I'm just curious. Do you like shift work? I mean, if they've told you that they're a shift worker, you can say, I'm just curious, but do you like working shift work? Or, I'm just curious, can you pick the hours that you want to work? Or, can you pick the shifts? I'm just curious, can you pick the shifts that you want to work? So they're icebreakers to get a conversation going. Some examples of, would it be okay if, you could say, would it be okay if, would it be okay if you could work three months, 3 weeks out of the 4, but still paid for one? You're talking about your business opportunity then. Another example of what that might, what you could say there would be, would it be okay if you could get your hands on a product that, is most natural? You could say, would it be okay if you could fire your boss? You could say, would it be okay if you could have an extra check every month? They're just examples of that particular phrase. And a couple of examples of the last one, I just found out. You could say, I just found out how we could work 3 weeks but still get paid for 4. Or you could say, I just found out, how we retire 5 years early and still get paid.
It's definitely an attention grabber, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, they're designed. Those phrases are designed to actually break down the barriers, to break the ice with people. You know, Tom describes it as you know, freezing their brain at that moment of time, and to get them to stop thinking about what they're thinking about, and then get them to listen to you. And those phrases are designed to get them to do just that, and to get you a rejection-free presentation, the opportunity of a rejection-free, you know, presentation.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Just one other example, and I'll keep quiet. When you are talking about your business opportunity or your presentation, you know, the worst thing you can do is blurt it out and not listen, right? And the best way to get your presentation across is to give it in bits and pieces. You give them enough so that they think about it, and they have to want to know more so that they ask questions. And then you give them a bit more, and eventually you'll get your whole presentation across.
Awesome.
But while you're listening, your customer, your prospect is buying. While you're talking, how does it go? When you're listening, you're selling. When you're talking, you're listening. No, that's not right. When you're talking, that you're selling. When you're listening, they're buying. That's it.
Awesome. That's really, really cool.
Yes.
All right,
I've got it there.
Thank you so much for sharing that information tonight. And the beautiful Miss Donna is back. So, Donna, have you got anything you wanted to add before we close for the night?
No, just thank you to Howard. There was some awesome points there. I caught the second half, and I'll jump back on and watch the rest because it sounds like you had some super tips there for everyone. And I just love the fact of what you said, which is so important, that it's, you know, you've got to listen. Sometimes people talk too much, and I quite often, you know, I hear people sometimes talk people into things, and they keep talking and they talk them straight back out of it again as well. So that listening is vital. And when people talk, they will send you clues all the time. So you'll pick up so much more by listening than you ever will by talking. So that's a really fantastic, important tip there, Howard. So thanks for bringing that one up.
If you're talking, you can't be listening. So if you're not listening, you're not
exactly.
You're not going to be able to address their concerns, and they don't want anything else about anything. They just want their concerns answered. So yeah, that's. I mean, you've said it last week. I've said it this week. Everybody says it all the time, and it's still something that's, you know, a lot of people make the mistake with.
Maybe everyone should start listening to that hot tip, hey? No, that's fantastic. I'll let you wrap up, Beck. Awesome. Thanks, Howard.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Howard, for the awesome tips that you gave tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next Monday at 8:30. Bye.